I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Supreme Team? Welcome to the channel. It's your girl, DYANAROZAY. I hope y'all can hear me. It's your girl, DYANAROZAY, and I am here to bring you guys the latest review on Belle Collective Jackson, because there's two Belle Collectives now. So Belle Collective Jackson. And if you can hear the sound of my voice, let me know by putting your side dish or your main dish or the utensils, whatever you brought, the paper plates, we need it all, okay? Let me know in the chat, all right? Everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so nice to have you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see. I got Michi from Dallas. You said, what now? You said you got some donuts and some pigs in the blanket. Nice to have you, Michi. Nice to have you. You guys, thank you, thank you, thank you. We have Clone in the house. Clone is my real sister. We have the same mama, same daddy. Somebody said, why do you say that all the time? Child, because there was a Republican stumping these ground real hard on YouTube who said that Black women don't know our mamas and our daddy. And I just want y'all to know, I have never heard anything like that before. I know my mama and daddy, and so does my sister. So we got the same sister, same mama, same daddy. I always say it. What's up? She said she got the monkey bread. Welcome, Dyreese. Nice to have you. Nice to have you. Let's see. What's up, Marie? Nice to have you. Child, you know, you got to dispel those rumors. You got to dispel those rumors. Sometimes people be saying things and, you know, it's a blanket over everybody. I was so offended. I couldn't believe it, child. Come on in. You remember, child, you remember when that happened. You said, what's up? What's up, Queen T? What's up? She said, I got the hot links. Cool. I appreciate that. Let's see. That's right, baby. Say it on top of the mountain, child. It was a Black woman who said it. It shocked my soul. I was like, what is going on? What is going on? But baby, listen, sometimes people don't know they've been hit with an insult. They don't know they've been hit with an insult with stuff like that. Yes, what is up, my St. Louis sister? Good morning, Miss Glow. Nice to have you. Hold on, y'all. Let me get my screen up. I have to look at both screens to make sure that I'm not freezing. But I need y'all to take the poll at the top of the chat. There was a scene between Carrie and her mama. Carrie, her mama, and her husband, actually. And yeah, apparently they told Carrie, you need to stop the bleeding and just go on ahead and cut that doggone show out. Cut that restaurant off, and she doesn't want to do it. And I don't know if y'all were paying attention, but I think her mom irks her nerves a little bit. Her mother irks her nerves a little bit. She seems like she has to take a real deep breath every time her mama comes to town, child. Come on in, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nice to have you. I hope you're having a beautiful Saturday. I do. If you guys are watching this on the replay, go ahead and take the poll with everybody else. The poll question, so we'll start it now just so you know, is Carrie is using her own money to keep her business afloat, but Matt said close it. Not only did he say close it, he said can you guys see me? For some reason, I feel like I froze up again. I think I'm freezing up, and I'm not sure if the camera's working. Can you guys see me? Okay. So yeah, Matt basically said that Carrie is being selfish, even if she is using her own money. He said that that she needs to basically should get off the pot. Take your pick, okay? So take the poll at the top of the chat, and then we'll get that vote out, okay? All right, cool, cool, cool. I see you guys. All right, and as always, y'all know that I do give y'all whatever I'm using. I've talked about this before, the Rock Skincare. I really do use it. This is my third one. My third one, anyways, it helps smooth the skin, take the wrinkles off. It has retinol in it. It was developed with dermatologists and plastic surgeons. I stand by it. I put it on every night over the face, the neck. You can put it on the arms, the hands. I saw people say they put it on their legs. Put it on wherever you would like to see smooth skin, okay? It actually gives you glass skin. Some people say that they see a difference in one day after one use, whereas over about 4 weeks, you'll probably see see a difference. I actually saw a difference within one use as well. But the longer you use it, the more improved your skin will be. So give it a try. And there's either a shopping cart that's on the front of your screen if you are using your cell phone, or there is a link under the menu bar if you're on your computer, and it will take you directly where to go to buy from moi. Okay, so that helps out my channel. Give it a try. Give it a try. Are you going to cover Belle Collective Birmingham? I certainly am. Did y'all see my community wall? I talked about it last night because Kayla, oh my goodness, Kayla and Amber, baby. I said, y'all know it is a cardinal sin in the Black community to come into a room, speak to every single body except for one. That gets you a thumping. Am I right? Yes, ma'am. So, and Kayla is dating a man that is real flashy. He appears to be more flashy than her. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I want to know a little more about their relationship since she seems to like older men. So it was really good. It was really good. Come on in, come on in. Okay, y'all. So let's talk about it. We're going to start with the Pearsons, okay? The Pearsons and the Rogers are out on a double date. Y'all know that their friendship was a little rocky. They were on the rocks, I should say, for a very long minute. Remember, Glendale told his wife when she got home and she said, am I doing this with you again? This is what's going on? You got me in a room with a bitch who's telling you that you're attracted to her in front of me. Like I have no feelings, no nothing. And you sitting up there smiling like a Cheshire cat. What the fuck is wrong with you? Well, when Tisha came home and she was giving him the business and said, I don't want to do this with you no more, Glenn. I don't want you to put me in any situation like this again. Glenn said what? He said, the Pearsons are trying to ruin our family. They're trying to destroy us, right? So he put that bug in her ear that the Pearsons are the blame, not him. He didn't do shit. The Pearsons. And for a long time, Tisha was like, cool. Bet F the Pearsons. And y'all know it took a minute. But now they're on a double date with the Pearsons, okay? And the men were in charge of setting this date up. And the Rogers get there first, Cliff and Trice. And, they're super cute. You know what I'm saying? They go and get their stuff. But I don't know if y'all were paying attention when the Pearsons show up. The Pearsons, oh my goodness. First off, Glenn had a smile on his face like a child on Christmas Day, right before they go downstairs to grab their toys under the tree. He was so happy that they have resumed this friendship and they are back on track again, like going out, hanging out. Now he can go back over to Taste and hang out at the bar. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he is smiling. He has on this white cream crop double-breasted jacket. Oh my God. Like something out of New Edition. Okay. White cream pants. I don't know if it was like a burnt orange or something. It was an ugly ass color, whatever color it was ugly. but there's a burnt orange shirt with these tan shoes. I mean, I was like, Lord have mercy. You could tell he put them clothes out the night before. He put them clothes out the night before so that he could go out with the Pearsons. They are back in it, okay? You shouldn't have fucked it up. That's what I say. If you didn't want, if it really hurt your heart not to be friends with the Pearsons, you shouldn't have tried to dog them out and make it seem like, well, me and Cliff can still hang out, but you and Trice, y'all shouldn't hang out no more. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. Trice was right when she said, me and my husband are gang gang. If I can't hang out with Tisha, your ass can't hang out with Cliff. But anyway, he was elated. And Miss Tisha says in her confessional that she has to be cautious with the Pearsons. She said, baby, this is, our first time getting back into the groove of things, but I want to be real cautious with them because of what happened last time. So she's still playing it in her head, and she's still blaming them for what her husband did, which is not good. Not good at all. And I also want to say that Miss Tisha Pearson has the confidence of a million supermodels. I don't know if y'all saw that, but baby, when she got out the car, I don't even know what the hell she was wearing, child. Something black and tight. I know that. Something black, tight, and stretchy. And baby, she was walking like nothing I've ever seen before. Kudos to her. Kudos to her, because she has a lot of confidence. She's an attractive woman. I don't call black women ugly, but she's an attractive woman. But the way she moves in this world, Glenn can't keep up no damn way. If Tisha would literally understand her worth, that man would have been out of there. You know what I'm saying? Come on in, come on in. Thank you, girl. Anyway, after she gets herself up in there, Tisha ends up bragging about how she can cook, you know what I'm saying? How she can throw down. Glenn is trying to get on her good side. He's like, that's one of the reasons I married you. You know what I'm saying? Because you can cook, all that type of stuff. Yippee-yi-yay. Trice, on the other hand, Trice is in her confessional, and she said, my husband eats everything I make. And we all know that LaTrice can't cook, okay? Anyway, Cliff said there was a long period of trial and error when it came to Trice and her cooking, but she's finally gotten to a place where he can actually eat it. And he said it with a straight face. It almost sounded like a compliment, except he was, screaming SOS with his eyes. You could actually see that this heifer still can't cook, not to mention the fact that they did a flashback of when Mandy Pandy was at her house helping her cook. She had called her to the house and was like, girl, my husband's on his way home. I need you to help me make this meal. Trice had a stick of butter. I don't know how I missed this the first time. She had a stick of butter on the counter that had black mold on it. I have never in all of my life seen butter with mold on it. I didn't even know people held on to butter like that. But yes, butter with mold, black all through it. And I think Amanda was like, what's wrong with the butter? She said, oh, it's been there for a while. She could have already put it in the skillet. She said it was fine. And this is a woman who owns a restaurant. She better never take her tail back into the kitchen. You always keep a chef or a cook, girl. Don't go back there. Anyway, now that was embarrassing, that little part. But Glenn has a moment with the chef because they are actually they're making their own little Italian meal with a private chef. And so he's there to teach them how to cook an Italian meal. Anyway, Glenn does not know the difference between polenta and placenta. Between polenta and placenta. He says, when the chef is telling them what they're going to make, he said, is that the stuff that comes out of a woman after she has a baby? And nobody, not Cliff, not Trice, everybody acted like that was completely normal. You know what I'm saying? I said, that's how you know you got a real friend, because nobody got embarrassed for you. Because sometimes you're like, oh my God, nobody got embarrassed for him. They all just was like, who gives him? Who cares? I said, good for you. That's how you know you have a real friend. Now, the chef did get embarrassed. He was like, I don't know if he's serious, you know what I'm saying? But Trice came in there and cleaned it up. She said, baby, no, it's Italian grits. It's polenta. That was funny to me. And I love the way nobody blinked. They all left it alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't gonna give you too much in front of this white man. Who cares? We're paying him to teach us how to cook. I don't give a what you say. You know what I'm saying? Perfect, perfect, perfect. Anyway, they end up catching up on Tambra and her sip and see. Y'all know she had that little museum exhibit. And they start talking about her fibroids and things. And Trice lets everybody know that now she's ready to have a baby. Okay? And Cliff said, no, you waited too long. I'm old now. I was okay with that, a couple of years ago. Y'all remember Cliff kept asking Trice, I want to have a baby. I want to have a baby. His little bells were ringing his ears. And she said no. And then they do the flashback of it when they had to take the pregnancy test and it came back negative. You could actually see the light leave Cliff's eyes. He was sitting there like, he just looked defeated. And Trice was like, thank God. Trice was like, thank God. She said, now's not the time. Well, now she wants to have a baby because she's had, her own life and death experience with blood clots. And then she's probably thinking about, I'm married to an older man and, Cliff has slowed down quite a bit, especially in this season. Cliff has slowed down. Cliff is hilarious, baby. All he does is make jokes now. But she's ready. She's ready. And she says that. And Trice says, at the end of the day, I want to have someone who's going to give me unconditional love the way I do with my mama, because I don't know if he's always going to be here. She's talking about her husband. I don't know if he's always going to be here. And then she basically starts reminiscing about how Cliff left her at the hospital, child, when she had her surgery. And I'm assuming it's the blood clot surgery. I think it's a very recent surgery, right? So I don't know if they said that or not, but that was a life and death surgery. And so she said, he left me at the hospital. I was there all night by myself. And she's feeling a way about it. She has not gotten over it. And Cliff is just trying to blow it off. But he says, listen, when a man wants something, they want it right then and there. That's when we want it. We don't want to be put on hold, because once you put us on hold, we're off to find it someplace else, or we just want it to go away. We don't think about it anymore. Trice says that she wants to have a little Cliffarella. She wants to have a little Cliffarella so she knows that that baby is always going to be with her, by her side, no matter what. She's never going to leave her. And Cliff said, if you call that baby Cliffarella, it's definitely going to leave you, okay? It's definitely going to leave you. That shit was funny. Who calls a baby Cliffarella? Anyway, again, like I said, he said he's old. Trice said you were old then too. And right now we got enough money, baby. We can get a nanny. We can do whatever it takes to get that baby moving forward. Cliff said, I'm not doing it. And there are ways to make sure you don't take a turkey baster and do some things of your own in the bathroom, okay? I don't want no bullshit when it comes to you, Trice. I'm telling you now, I don't want a baby. And we see Glenn on the side doing a chop motion, and Cliff nods his head like, hell yeah, I'll sign up tomorrow if that's what it takes, because I don't want to do this. Anyway, Miss Tisha said that that's crazy that a man would think just because a lady say not now, because y'all know she's put Glenn on hold in regards to their bedroom life. She said, that's crazy that you would try to find it somewhere else, or you can't wait, you got to have it now. What kind of BS is that? Glenn nods his head and said he's 100% in agreement with Cliff. He said, listen, I feel the same exact way. A man needs what he needs when he needs it. I don't know how that's going to play out, but Tisha says that she has a lot more clarity about her relationship and who she is in this world since she stopped doing the do with Glendale. And Glendale said that, listen, there is a little more intimacy in our relationship. However, I'm far more clear about life and myself when I get it in with Tisha. So something's gonna have to give. She's saying she's more clear without it. I'm more clear with it. Okay. Anyway, they make a few more jokes, and Cliff said that it's real good to be hanging back out with the Pearsons. He also tells both Tisha and his wife, Trice, that they're the head of the group. And when their relationship is good, everybody's relationship is good, not just the girls, but all of us are affected, the men too, when you guys aren't getting along. Tisha said, well, you might have a point there because that damn Carrie is a big old flip flopper. Carrie Paul is a flip flopper. Carrie Paul is a flip flopper. And then they end up talking about the rumor, the baby rumor with Mike. Tisha, or excuse me, Trice actually says that she had to check Carrie about putting her husband on blast and making it seem like he was the one who spreaded that damn rumor. Cliff said at the end of the day, y'all, he said, I didn't spread shit. I had a conversation with Mike about it. But if you Bells decided to spread the rumor, then that's the Bells' problem. That's not my problem. I don't understand how the men got involved at all. Hold on one second, y'all. My light is blinking on and off. Okay, sorry about that. He said, you were the guys who started the rumor, not me. I had one conversation, and that was to Mike himself, how you guys chose to spread that damn rumor amongst yourselves of all things when you guys are supposed to be the sister group. What the hell's up with that, right? In confessional, Cliff said that the Bells are a bunch of gossipers, which includes his wife. He also said that the Bells will do anything to keep chaos going and in your life. And the next time he has any type of secret, he will keep it to himself, which means that he's cutting Trice off too, according to this. Okay. Come on in, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, now take the poll because we're about to talk about Carrie and her mama, okay? So Carrie meets up with the original Carrie, because y'all know her mother is the original Carrie, Carrie Sr., okay? So Carrie Sr. shows up at this damn restaurant. Carrie had said previously that she had to take her mama in small doses because she is very opinionated. So she said, I'm real hesitant to even bring them around the group or bring her around the group of ladies because I'm not sure what she's going to say. It does not matter the subject. It does not matter how sensitive or who she's talking to. She going to get that opinion up out of her. Okay. So when her mother is in the room, Carrie likes to roll her eyes and, you can see that she's holding her breath. And that is funny to me because Carrie, you are your mama. The apple did not fall from the tree. You are her. You are her. Anyway, her mother and her husband, Matt, they show up to find out what's about to happen to this restaurant. The restaurant isn't doing any business. Carrie lets them know that they did have a buyer, but he wasn't able to secure financing. And so they're not going to be able to move forward. Also, there's not a lot of people looking to buy a restaurant now. And she has 3. I guess this current one, I forgot what it's called, something and spoon. She said this 4th one is the one that's not doing any money whatsoever. And that it takes about 5 figures a month in order to keep it afloat. So she said she's doing anywhere between 10,000 or more a month just of her personal money, not of the business money, of her personal money in order to keep the business afloat. Anyway, she's feeling super guilty. She said she has 20 employees. I'm actually happy and proud of her for putting this shit on TV because this is the type of stuff that really nobody cares about. I'm not going to lie. Even though people say, we want to hear about the business, nobody gives a shit about the business. That's just a fact. But the fact that she said it, because it's embarrassing for people to have to close businesses. It's embarrassing when people's business aren't doing the money that it's supposed to do. And now she's telling everybody, you know what I'm saying? I got 20 employees that depend on me. People have families. They eat off of me and I can't pay them. I can't keep it going. Anyway, with no compassion, no hesitation, both Carrie's mama and her husband said, close it. Close it today. What are you doing? Okay. Why are you spending all this damn money when nobody's showing up here? You got other businesses that are successful. Stop the bleeding, Carrie. Right? And then her mother says, listen, baby, you're going to make a choice today. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of pick a date because I'm tired of hearing you cry about this. And basically, I didn't raise your ass like this. You know what's going on here. You know this shit isn't successful. Anyway, Carrie's husband tells her that she needs to close the business and stop acting like it's the employees that's stopping you from doing this because they realize nobody's up in this motherfucker. Okay. For all you know, they are already looking for other jobs because this is business. Nobody's coming up in here. I know she's not going to be able to keep it open. You're going to find yourself in a situation where everybody walks out on you because they know you got to close it. You know what I'm saying? And you're not going to have anybody around. But he also tells her that he thinks that she's selfish. And I said this about him the other week. I was like, she's trying to keep a business open. It's selfish of you to leave the job that's paying the bills. I didn't know it was paying the bills, but it's selfish of you to try to start a new endeavor when you know that your wife is struggling with this particular business. He actually says to her, you're selfish, Carrie. You are being selfish with me for trying to keep this business open. And you are very reliant on the fact that I'm paying all the bills of the house. That's my responsibility as the husband. I pay all the bills. I make sure all the kids' stuff is taken care of. Your money from the 3 extra businesses and your influencer money is your money, not my money. You get to do whatever you want. And when I heard him say that shit, I was like, somebody call Shamia and tell her that if she whines again about how she wants to put something on the light bill in that $9 million house, girl, you have the dream life over there. If you want to make some money because it's your money, cool. But to say, I want to be able to help is dumb. It's dumb. Your money's not going to be his money ever. That's not how it works. But Matt says that in the scene. He said, I ain't never asked you for shit. Your money's your money. And the stuff you do is really for you. Because she was like, well, I'm working 5 jobs for the kids. He said, don't do that. Don't do that. You could still close this business and not worry about anything being taken care of. Those kids are taken care of. You're taken care of. All of the household stuff is taken care of from me. And I don't ask you for nothing. That money is your money. Child. Anyway, that's what I would rather hear from Shamia than her acting like she's trying to put something on it. Just so y'all know. Because first episode, she crying about how she wants to help out. Bitch, bye. Help out how? That's a $9 million house. What's your share? Okay? What's your share? Anyway, Carrie ends up tearing up and she is completely overwhelmed. And she said, this is her business. And she doesn't understand why everybody has an opinion and, that type of stuff. The bottom line is she's just overwhelmed. She's trying to figure it out, but she acts like she needs more time. I asked y'all to take the poll because that was really the only conflict that happened in this episode. Who wears the crown and who is the clown? Whoever gets the most votes is the crown wearer, and whoever gets the least amount of votes will be the clown by default. Okay. All right. So let me just put it on the screen so everybody can vote, even if you're in the chat. Even if you're watching the replay, I want you to vote. All right. So 68% of y'all said that Matt wears the crown, that whether it's her money or not, you agree with Matt. She needs to hang it up, stop whining about it, be a business owner. Sometimes you fail in business, and that is what it is. Even though people want to think, oh, she owns a this, that doesn't mean there's money coming in. Sometimes money could be going out the door. More money than you think can be going out the door than actually walking in the door. And Matt said, y'all said that you agree with Matt and that Carrie needs to, suck it up. Suck it up, basically. Okay, cool. I agree with Matt too, by the way. I agree with Matt. Anyway, there you have it. That was a small one for today, but it is what it is. Now let's move on to Trice and Cliff. My thumbnail. So Trice and Cliff are hilarious to me, you guys. They are at home. Trice has to get some things off of her chest because, like I said, she was real upset that she had this emergency life and death surgery and life or death surgery. And her husband left the hospital and, according to her, went back to the restaurant and never came back, child. We'll get to it. Anyway, Trice said that she gets a lot of stuff off of TikTok. She said, I learned recipes on TikTok, how to decorate on TikTok, you name it, she gets it. Medical advice off of TikTok. Now she's about to do this couples exercise, like a counseling session that she learned on TikTok with Cliff. And I have to say that Cliff was a good sport, because if I told my husband I'm about to do this coupling exercise that I saw on TikTok, he'd just walk right out the house. Child, I'm not doing that shit with you. I'm not doing that with you. Okay. But Cliff said, cool, no problem. He sits down in his little chair and him and Trice are facing each other, literally in chairs. There's nothing between them, right? Cliff said, I'm not on social media. I'm not on TikTok. I've heard of it. I know what it is, but I don't do that shit. I'm hardly on social media. Anyway, I will say that when the exercise started, you could tell that some of the things that Trice was saying to Cliff or accusing him of, it was upsetting him because he wasn't looking at her. He kept looking at the production team or at the camera. He did that at least a half a dozen times, if not more. I mean, I was just like, is somebody going to stop this? You know what I'm saying? Even though he was trying to be cool about it. But Trice said that Trice started talking about her surgery. She said, I got this upcoming surgery for my fibroids, and I'm having a lot of concerns about whether or not I should even go because I got a lot to take care of at the restaurant. Okay. What's up, Deshonda the Fox? You guys, Deshonda the Fox is one of my members. Say hello to her. She helps support the channel in the back room. And if you'd like to become a member, you can. And she's also brought some things to the cookout. So I hope everybody's getting full. She got some pasta salad, sodas, water, and adult beverages. Thank you, girl. I appreciate you. But yeah, she says that she does a lot. She said, I do a lot. And I don't know if people are going to be able to take care of it when I am in my recovery stage. Cliff said that after seeing the pictures of Tambra when she was out for her surgery, her fibroid surgery, he said, you need to get it done, because now he's just worried about her health. I didn't know that stuff looked like that and that it could take you down that way. So he said, you just got to get it done. We are in a good place, Tambra, or excuse me, we are in a good place, Trice. Your health is your wealth at this point. Do the surgery. But Trice says, listen, I'm going to be down for 6 to 8 weeks. You have no idea what I do. I talk to the lawyers. I talk to this. I cover the payroll. I do this. I do this. And he said, I've owned multiple businesses throughout the years, girl. I promise you, nothing's going to go down. Not to mention the fact that everything you do is on a computer. Okay? All you do is push buttons. What's the big deal? What's the big deal is what Cliff says. which was actually, I mean, you were trying to minimize what she does. I'm sure she does a lot more than that. But he said it's easy to bring somebody in to do this, Trice, or to teach somebody at the job to do this. Go do the surgery, right? And then she ends up saying what's really pissing her off, because he's sending her over the edge. He's not making it seem like, this is important. You don't take care of any of these details that I do. The shit I do falls solely on me. And she says, listen, the last time that I had a surgery, you left the hospital on my birthday and our anniversary. Okay. It was my birthday and our anniversary. I had an emergency surgery. I could have died. And your ass was at Taste drinking. I saw you on the camera. So she was so upset. Yes, yes, yes. Woodstock. She was so upset with Woodstock that she said, baby, I had to go back and see what your ass was actually doing. And when I rolled those cameras back and I saw that you was sitting at a bar drinking, it pissed me off. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something in just a second, but y'all keep putting y'all comments into the chat. But she said, yeah, I didn't like that. It felt like you had no love for me, no care for me, no concern for me. Now, he was sitting there and he's taking it in. And I don't think he wants to start a fight with her, but I do think that he was worried. You know what I'm saying? We'll get there. Hold on. Cliff ends up saying, she says to Cliff, you should have brought me flowers. You could have done anything to make that day feel a little better, a little more better for me. The fact that you left, that you checked out while I was in the hospital, that's a problem. Cliff said, I had your permission to leave. You told me to go to Taste. So I was there. That's not enough for Trice, though. And she is crying now. She's wiping her eyes and all kinds of stuff. And he's just sitting there like, he doesn't know what to say, but there's something wrong with both of them. If y'all were paying attention to the scene, Trice feels like he abandoned her. And she says, listen, you know the history I come from when it comes to men. You know, my father abandoned me. I never felt love for him. I never thought that he loved me. My brother, the brothers that I did love, that I did care about, y'all know one of them was in prison. I think one died. There was something happened, some extensive history. But she said, I expected you to be by my side. And when you weren't there, you brought up all those old emotions about the men in my life from the past. And it felt like I was reliving that shit all over again. Anyway, Cliff said, you could have called me. And she said, I'll never do that. A man's going to do whatever he wants to do, but I'm not chasing your ass down, especially when you knew my insecurities. You knew how I felt. You know right from wrong, and I'm not going to teach it to you. Not where we are right now. Anyway, Cliff said, well, that's your problem right there. You're fighting yourself, not me. Because if you want me to know something, Trice, you got to tell me. I'm not going to look in a crystal ball. I cannot read minds. I'm not a psychic. I don't know what you want from me. So you're going to have to tell me if you want me to know. Men don't think like women. That's what he tells her, which is a load of malarkey. I don't think that was the case. I honestly think that, this is my personal opinion, I think that Cliff having a young wife is probably a little more closer to his own mortality than Trice thinks. And I think that when Trice came out of the surgery, she kind of recognized that as well. But I think that it scared the shit out of him that Trice could have almost passed away. And I think him leaving and like sitting at the bar and drinking, I think that was just him trying to work it out in his head. Like, what do I do? You know what I'm saying? And sometimes people can't take that, but he couldn't get the words out. But at the beginning of the season, he actually says to everybody, I almost lost my wife. Under no circumstances do I ever want to find myself without my wife. So when my wife says this is what she wants me to fucking do, this is what I'm going to do from this point forward. He says that to the guys. He made it seem like that was the line he was drawing with Glenn. I'm not sneaking around with Glenn. I'm not effing with Glenn. Y'all remember that? If my wife tells me not to talk to Glenn, I'm not talking to Glenn because of what we've already gone through and because I almost lost her. He said that at the beginning. Here he doesn't say that. He just says, Trice, you got to tell me what you got to tell me what you want. But I did think it was interesting because I said if he was at the bar, did you think that maybe he was afraid that you were going to pass away, and so he was kind of drowning his sorrows? Because that could be the case too. You know what I mean? Um, that's true. That's true. Anyway, Trice said that she wants to get off of this topic. She said, I'm not going to go through this with you anymore. And she tells him that she loves him and that she does believe he loved her, even though what happened at the hospital pissed her off. But she says, I do love you, and I think that you love me too. They actually hug each other. He tells her that he does love her. But in the confessional, Cliff says marriages go through ups and downs, and him and Trice have been through a lot over the years. They've been through a lot over the years, but he's in a place where he's settled and he understands, the ebbs and flows of their relationship. I don't know if that's true for Trice, but he feels like this is just how shit goes sometimes. You don't have highs, you don't have lows. I agree with your take in regards to Cliff. Yes, I think that Cliff was scared that he was going to lose her. And I don't think that she's thinking about it like that. Y'all remember if y'all watched Braxton Family Values, was it Braxton Family Values? When Vince went into the hospital and Tamar said, I was at the hospital night and day. I slept in the hospital, and someone came in and said, we got to take you out of here. Like, let's do something. She said on the day that they went shopping, that's the day he opened up his eyes, and he was so angry that she wasn't there. But she was like, bitch, I'm dying too. I'm dying with you. He definitely felt it. And I think that that's probably why he's calmed down a little bit more. I think he definitely felt it, but he can't say that. He's going to have to tell her, because she says she'll never forgive him. I will never forgive you for leaving me when I was on my deathbed. Yikes. Anyway, they end up hugging, and she does tell him that she loves him. He says it back to her, and he tries to make a joke. He said, listen, if I can't satisfy you and you end up leaving me, my next woman is going to be much simpler. My next woman is going to be much simpler. And Trice said, well, you better not leave her on her deathbed, okay? You better not leave her at the hospital like you did me. And Cliff said that he appreciates her looking out for him and his next woman. If that's how you want it, I appreciate you looking out for the both of us, okay? And that's really how the scene ends, okay? All right, moving on. Let's talk about Tambra and Selena, y'all. This was such a whack scene. Tambra and Selena meet up at Tambra's office, I'm assuming, child. Anyway, Selena, every time Selena opens up her mouth, Selena is almost at the brink of death. And this is what happened when she was over there in Columbus. Not only is Selena always talking about how she's sick, but she's not compliant with what the doctors are telling her to do. So she gets all the way to Columbia. And typically when you have a heart condition, they always tell you that if you go to a dentist, always keep them aware of what's going on with your heart, because your teeth, what happens in your mouth, your teeth, your gums affects your heart. You can die on the table. And this heifer gets all the way down to Columbia to get those damn teeth. I guess she had 4 crooked teeth. And Mike said he wanted her to have the perfect smile on their wedding day. Well, the dentist office asks the questions. They do their due diligence. What are your health problems? What do you have going on? Are you on medication? And she said, no, I'm not on medication. I'm not this. I'm not that. And they start doing the damn work. And her blood pressure starts rising to the point of where she could have had a heart attack right there. So after they shave down them damn teeth, they can only finish 2 of them. And they told her, you got to go rest for a couple of days, come back to see if we can finish the other two, because Selena didn't even bring her medicine with her. That is how crazy that is. Yeah. I was like, girl, are you out of your mind? Anyway, so she's telling all this to Tambra. Tambra was sitting there like, and in her confessional, she was like, baby, that's not worth it. Oh my God, who knew getting 4 little teeth fixed could kill you? Exactly. People better know what's connected to what. And pay attention. Your doctor should be telling you this. Anybody who has a heart condition of any kind, that's the first thing they say. Make sure your dentist knows X, Y, and Z. You're supposed to be going to the dentist every 6 months. Told y'all that Selena has a zip. Well, what? She's pretty sad for a 50-year-old woman. Yeah, so she didn't even know. You're in a whole nother country. And they're like, baby, get out of my chair. Okay, go home, go back to the hotel. And then that's not even a crazy part, because now that you're all elevated, you're going to get on a plane. Do you have any idea what planes do to your body, child? Anyway, long story short, after she gets all that out, Tambra ends up catching her up on the sip and see and how she had to get Shantae together. And she said, listen, never in her life, in all of her years, has she been gossiped about as much as she is in this friend group. The Bells have talked about her over her clothes, under her clothes, her kids, you name it. They've talked about every damn thing. And these are the people that we're supposed to call friend. And she said, you know, I've never seen this before, child, but as of right now, I said that Shantae need to get her ass up out of this group, okay? If Amanda's gone, go ahead and kick Shantae out too. All right. Now we are at the men. All the men decide to get together without the Bells. This by far had to be one of the funniest scenes, and really probably like one of the best scenes all year. Okay. Come on in, you guys, hit the like button. But yeah, all of them, Matt, Glenn, Mike, and Cliff, they all meet up together, and they're in some sort of outdoor tent to play pool. I don't know where it was. It sounds like it was in the backwoods of hell, if you let Matt describe it. He was like, there's lions and tigers and bears out here. It's cold as hell. Why are we in here? There's this small lamp that's supposed to be light for the whole thing. Child, I want out of this mofo. I thought we was going to an actual club or something, right? I'm cold. That's what Matt said. Anyway, Cliff says in his confessional that the men are way better than the women, and they don't have nearly the problems that the women have. He said, we're going to meet today, and when we leave here, we're going to leave here happy. You can't say that about the Bells. They meet up, and when they leave each other, 1, 2, 3, or all of them got a damn problem. So he said they are a million times better than the Bells. They should have a show called what? Beau Collective. The Bows, okay? Beau Collective. Glenn arrives, coming in with his blue jean jacket and his shades on, child. When Glenn arrives, he has a backpack that's filled with all types of baby stuff. Baby wipes, Pampers, teddy bears. It's a full care package, and he is bringing it to Mike. And as soon as he walked in with that damn teddy bear sticking on the outside, Mike starts laughing. He knows that Glenn is trying to clown him. So Mike starts laughing. He said, I know you ain't bringing that shit to me. I know you're not bringing that to me. And then he said, listen, I'm going to need some luck for whatever you got in that bag. They actually start taking the stuff out. Glenn said, well, you know, man, we don't know yet. We don't know if there's another you, a little junior running around here. So he starts taking the stuff out the bag to show him what he got. And Mike said, listen, you're not going to be getting a damn laugh off of my expense, okay? He said, if it is true, man, then yeah, I'm going to be crying just like you was, Swole. Okay? I'm going to cry just like your ass was crying when you had to wait on that DNA test to see if there was a little Glendale Jr. out here in these streets. And then Glenn, everybody starts laughing after that. Everybody's like, Glenn, as wayward as your peen is, absolutely. Okay, you're the last one who should be cracking jokes. But Mike is actually funny, y'all. I don't know. I don't know if I've paid attention to him in previous scenes, but he's hilarious. He's as funny as Cliff. We need more scenes with Mike, okay? Anyway, Glenn says that he was just trying to make light of things because he knows how, how Mike might feel about this baby rumor. And Mike said, I was never worried that there's a baby out there in my name. I didn't care about it when it happened. Y'all talked about it, but I slept like a baby. And then he said, Selena was worried about it. And I guess he feels like, hell, she don't trust me a little bit because something's going on with that. But he said Selena was the only one who was worried about it. And she's so worried, she told me she wants to know which one of you brought it to the group. Which one of y'all brought it to the group? So now everybody's looking like, oh, for real? He said, yeah. And then Mike said, I think it was you, pointing at Cliff. He said, I think it was you, Cliff. And Cliff is like, why would it be me? Why would it be me? I came to you and actually talked about it. If you remember, I was the one who brought it to you. And Mike is like, exactly. Okay, you don't have to be a private eye. You were the first to bring it to me. So where else would it have come from? You brought it to me. You spoke about it to Matt. And he said, no, after I brought it to you, I talked to my wife and told her about it. Now everybody is cracking up. Mike said, after you talked to me, you took it to who? And he went, I took it to my wife. Everybody, it was like something out of a Spike Lee movie. They was like, oh, damn. Of course, that's how it got to the Bells then. If you took it to the Belle, then that's how it got to the Bells, okay? So now everybody is cracking up, and Cliff is sitting there. He's kind of offended because everybody's laughing at him. He does not like to be laughed at. But he said, y'all the one who be bringing your problems to me, and now I'm always responsible for everybody else's shit. He said, then stop talking to me then. I'm not talking to anybody about anything else. That was hilarious. Everybody was dying laughing, okay? Anyway, Cliff said, listen, there's certain men who likes to gossip, especially men who like to entertain. A man that likes to entertain will also gossip all the time. And then Glenn says in his confessional, men don't really gossip unless you're at the barbershop. And then you're about to know everybody's motherfucking business because that's how barbershops work. And as soon as both of them said that, guess who started gossiping? Some might call it sharing, but baby, it was gossiping. And that's Mr. Mike himself, who said he wanted to get down to business. Mike, listen, Cliff said, how's your wife's beautiful teeth, right? And Mike says, yeah, Selena went down there. This is the funny part. Selena went down there. She had to go through the questionnaire. The doctors asked you the questionnaire to find out, damn it, your health and whether or not you can even move forward with the surgery or the procedure. He said, they're up here asking this lady questions. And she said, no, no, no. And she told me she thought that they were talking about STDs. They sit here trying to find out if she has a heart condition, and she didn't even bring her damn medicine down. So everybody, all the men, are glued to this story because this is what gossiping looks like. All the men are glued to this story, holding their damn cue sticks for the pool table. Like, what? He said Selena almost came back looking like an alligator. Selena almost came back from Colombia looking like an alligator, baby. She was about to have 4 damn shark teeth right at the bottom because they almost denied her that procedure. She had to go home. She had to leave, come back in a couple of days to finish it off. Her damn blood pressure was so high. And then he said, if I would have lost her down there because of that procedure, do you know how horrible that would have been for me? How I would have had to come back and tell her kids that she lost her life because she was trying to get 4 teeth fixed. He said, I can't even believe it. He said, I would never, right? But I was like, girl, that is hilarious. Now it's something you laugh at after the fact, but damn, when it's going on, that's true. But he ended up telling that little story, child. And they all was cracking up when he said she almost came back looking like an alligator. He almost came back looking like an alligator. And then production put up a damn picture. It was like some sort of animation of Selena with actual an alligator mouth, baby. It was hilarious. Anyway, after that, Cliff ends up joining into the gossip too, child, because he said that him and the Bells, him and Tisha and Trice went out, or excuse me, I should say, him and Trice went out with Tisha and Glendale. He said, we all went out to have dinner together and everything was good. Now, the entire time Cliff is talking, they have up subtitles, and I do mean for everything, child. He said that everything was good. And he said, the thing about the Bells is that when the women has differences, everything go wrong when the women have differences. Everything. He said, I have a good life. I live good. But when my wife is into it with your wife, talking about Glenn, he said that she's devastated. She can't move forward. She can't get her mind out of it. It ruins everything. And he was basically saying that's the case for all of us. We're good as the men, but the women, when they fall the fuck out, it affects all of us. It affects all of our home lives, right? And when he says that, Mike says something like, he said, you got to share. Listen, I had to read it because I didn't understand it. Mike said, sometimes you got to shed tears on a lie. Sometimes you got to shed tears on a lie. Now, the whole time, both Mike and Cliff are talking, Matt is sitting there like this. He keeps tilting his head, squinting his eyes, pretending to nod like he understands what's going on, but he doesn't. And in confessional, he said subtitles was definitely needed for that conversation. Like, I don't know what they said, what they didn't say. Child, I was just sitting here hoping that nobody asked me a question because, baby, I couldn't have answered it if that was the case. But after they all finished, anyway, Glenn ends up saying that he had to shed tears on a lie. Basically, I had to shed tears on a lie after he says that. And he's basically referring to Amanda. He said that if the Pearsons were at his house and somebody like Amanda would have jumped up and said some mess like that over Cliff, he would have stood up and said, not at my house. You ain't doing this shit at my house, which would have still made Cliff guilty. Even if Cliff said, don't do this at my house, not only does it make you guilty, Glendale, it also makes Cliff guilty. So Cliff is like, you're not going to put this shit on me. This is literally how this conversation went. It was probably one of the best conversations in the whole episode. But he says, I still blame you a little bit to Cliff because you should have gotten up and said something. You should have stopped that woman from accusing me of trying to flirt or sleep with her. Cliff said, you need to stop flirting with other women because women get crazy over men, especially men they think they have some sort of holdover. That was your fault. Matt, who for some reason keeps taking Glendale's side, like he doesn't know what this damn show is about. I'm not sure if I understand Matt. I got to give him a few more episodes. In the beginning, I was like, I really like him. He's a cool guy. But the way he keeps somehow making Glendale's bullshit fine is crazy to me. But Matt said, well, everybody's flirts. We all do it. Baby, do you have a pregnancy test after? Glendale is a known cheater. You stay quiet, Matt, unless there's something you need to tell all of us. But Matt says everybody flirts. My wife flirts all the time. The difference is if I do it, it's a problem. Glenn said, I'm glad you said that because everybody knows my personality. I'm naturally a flirter. I talk to everybody. I smile at everybody. That's just me being cool. But you didn't get in trouble for smiling at everybody. You got in trouble for getting in that girl's DMs on Facebook, on Instagram, on WhatsApp, on Snapchat. Apparently you was having conversations with her all over. That's not what happened. The way you're changing history is crazy. Anyway, Cliff pulls him back in, and he said, if smiling is what gets you in trouble, then you need to quit smiling at them hoes. And that's an exact quote. If smiling is what gets your ass in trouble, then quit smiling at them hoes. Glenn said, am I supposed to just walk around mad all the time? Cliff said, for the sake of your marriage, hell yeah. If you want to stay married to that woman when you know the trouble you're in right now, then yes, stop smiling for a little bit. Prove yourself to her, okay? Anyway, Glenn said, then if that's the case, somebody better give him a gator smile, because baby, that's the only thing that's going to keep the women up off of keep the women up off of him. He is a natural magnet to the ladies, okay? So he said he needs an alligator smile, and the production team gave him one. Baby, they put a whole cartoon alligator mouth on Glenn's huge ass lips. And I have big lips, so don't be trying to come after me, okay? But they put a whole alligator mouth on top of that shit. And I was dying. I was howling, okay? You said Glenn is still for the streets. In confessional, Cliff said, listen, Glenn needs to figure out what he wants, because the problem is he does bullshit and nothing is ever his fault. That's what Cliff said about his good friend Glenn. He's still feeling away. I'm telling y'all, Glenn is going to mess up this friendship. You was all happy to be back in the company of the Pearsons, but you're not taking any responsibility. Cliff was right. I didn't tell you to flirt with them ladies, and you can rewrite history if you want to. It wasn't about you smiling, sir. That lady pulled up DMs and passed it around like it was the Bible so that everybody could read. That's your problem. That's not me. That's not my problem. You're not going to put that on me. 1000% factual. All right, last scene was Stormy and Trice. So Stormy goes to visit Trice at the restaurant, and they talked a little bit about their history. Y'all know that this was just the introductory scene, the crossover, basic crossover of the Bells. We are at Belle's Jackson, and now we are about to cross over into Belle's Birmingham. But they sit there a little bit and they talk business, because everybody acts like they're so interested in the business piece. And Stormy said, listen, child, I have done some incredible things, and because I didn't come in the package that everybody was expecting, she said, baby, I didn't get the accolades. I didn't get the press coverage. I didn't get the stuff that I was supposed to get. I am the highest selling TikToker in the United States of America. And I got a little rollout. I think she did MSNBC. I think she might have did Forbes too. I forget what it was, but I think she did too. And anyway, she said but it wasn't as big of a rollout as she was expecting. And she has to remind herself that she is the bee's knees in order to keep going, because sometimes when people give you a little bit of applause, you know what I'm saying? When people give you a little bit of applause, you start doubting and questioning yourself. And she said, I have to keep reminding myself that I'm that girl and I can do this. You know what I'm saying? I can keep breaking records. I can keep doing all the things I'm supposed to do in this life, everything that God set for me. Anyway, Trice tells her something similar. She said, you know, I have this restaurant, and what I envisioned is that it was going to be this great place that tourists came in to visit, because we're on this TV show. I have like 3 or 4, I guess like apartments above the restaurant, and we were going to turn them into Airbnbs because people like to come eat and hang out here. It'll bring more money into the city, which is true. Those are all the things you think about, right? We have this TV show that films here. You guys, it'll bring an enormous part of tourists. It's a tourist attraction, right? To go to that restaurant. I remember when I lived in St. Louis, Sweetie Pies, it was a huge tourist attraction, and I lived near there. It was beside the Botanical Garden. I think that it's closed now, but I lived near the Botanical Garden, and it was over there, and people from all over, they would close that street up when Oprah Winfrey came in and the Obamas came in. There were so many people that would come in there, and they would close them streets off, child. But Trice is saying, this is what I was expecting. I was expecting accolades. I was expecting people to say you're bringing money in the community. And what we're getting is pushback. People are saying that we play our music too loud, even though there's other restaurants in the area that play music, not just us. And she said that the neighbors, they want them out and they're doing everything they can to shut it down, close it down, you name it. Right? Anyway, they cry with each other for a little bit about that, and then they pat each other on the back and said, bitch, keep on pushing, because we know who we are, we know that we're great, okay, we know what we got. And it was cool. I liked it. I'm gonna give this episode I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm gonna give it a 10. Y'all know what? I've given every episode this season a 10, but I think the scene at the end with the men was really good. I really enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed the fact that Cliff is not gonna let Glenn railroad him into saying he's the problem when it's Glendale that's the problem. And that's why Tisha is looking for a post next week, because you don't know how to take responsibility, Glenn. If you would simply say this was all me, it'll be cool, but you don't know how to do it. And you're going to keep bringing up the wrong people, and it's going to get your ass caught in a sling. But as of right now, it looks like Tisha's about to still hand Glenn that work next week, and we're going to see how it plays out. Okay. Either way, I'm going to give the scene snatcher to Clifford. Woodstock himself gets the scene snatcher for this week, because I thought that the scenes that he was in was actually pretty hilarious, all of them. I think that he is definitely in his old man era, his I don't give a shit era, his I'm not here to fuss and fight with you era, his I'm only going to tell you what I know era. And I love that. Okay. Y'all know when old men get to that place, they're pretty funny. They're pretty funny. What else? I think that's it. Anyways, y'all, I appreciate every single one of y'all who came over to hang out with me today. You know, I love you guys. I do want to thank my members, Mr. Shonda. Thank you. Did I miss anybody? Mr. Shonda, and of course, all of y'all for hanging out and making the chat fun. The fight between Trice and the family didn't help the scene. I'm sure it didn't help, but it wasn't actually open when they had that fight. That's the first thing. It wasn't open. But if you guys knew, because I did used to work for 2 city agencies. I see y'all said you love my shirt. Yes, this is Big Daddy Kane. Okay, I'm coming. I used to think I was gonna marry Big Daddy Kane. When I was a kid, I used to think I was gonna marry Big Daddy Kane, child. Whew. Oh, what a day. What a time to be alive. Anyway, it wasn't actually open, but if you guys knew how the city work or the county works when they have stuff like that, you'd be surprised. Sometimes it's just a matter of real estate. And if someone fix up an area, they just might have bigger developers who want to kick it out, and they'll put somebody else in there who does everything you do. Everything you were doing, it's just a different face. Even though they had that fight scene, y'all got to know that those white bars and stuff like that, they fight all the time. They fight all the time. We give ourselves all the stereotypes and stuff that people put on us. We put on ourselves, unfortunately, but they do the exact same thing. And the people that listen to that music don't even look like us half the time. I went to a Snoop Dogg concert, child. I think me and my friends sat there for like maybe 20 minutes and we left, because we were the only specks of pepper in the field. Okay. And when you start listening to hundreds or thousands of people say the N-word and you're the only 2 there, I was like, bitch, my ancestors won't allow it. My mama either. We ended up getting up and walking away. So they know the music. They listen to the music. Their kids listen to the music. They might just like the fact that they fixed it up and now they would like to take over. That happens too. You said, me too, girl. I could tell by the eyebrows. Yes, the cane. I love him. Anyways, hey, Erica, nice to have you, girl. If you guys are just now coming in, going ahead and watch the replay because I'm gonna close this out. But I appreciate every single one of you guys for coming over and hanging out with me. I love y'all. I love y'all for supporting the channel. Make sure that you share the video so that other people can come and join our family over here. Thank you, Golden Life. I appreciate you. Hit the like button, share the video. Follow me on all platforms at DYANAROZAY. Thank you, Clone, for helping out in the chat. And until the next time, bye-bye.